A meeting in the Nigerian capital Abuja between local stakeholders and representatives of the Food and Agriculture Organization. They're discussing food security and achieving the goal of zero hunger. Africa Regional Representative Abebe Haile Gabriel told delegates that the sustainable solution to food insecurity is peace.
Yes, the situation in Somalia, as I said, has been very dire. There has been drought for more than 4 years in a row. And this has really devastating impact on the livelihood of the people in Somalia.
The talks come just days after the United Nations warned that hundreds of thousands of people in Somalia are facing starvation. A severe drought in the Horn of Africa has destroyed crops and killed livestock, on which the survival of people in the region depend.
FAO has been in collaboration with some donor agencies, procure some fertilizers and make it available to the farmers in the region, in the affected region. But then this is not a sustainable solution. The sustainable solution is to find peace so that a normal life can continue.
It's the third time in 10 years that Somalia has been threatened with a devastating famine. With every drop of water counting, the UN has warned that humanitarian workers cannot keep up with the surging needs.
Popularly referred to as the home of champions, Iten town is revered as the gateway to greatness for both local and foreign athletes. A number of training camps have been set up in Iten to cater for the demand of the increasing number of athletes flocking the town.
When we recruit the athletes, we tap the talents, and the first thing we normally do, we see how educated they are. And then when they are in the camp, we try to teach them how to run under the coaches, and so the athletes here do a lot when they are in the camp. They are in learning again ground. They are learning how to stay with even foreigners when they are abroad, and how to invest.
Being a higher altitude area, Iten has fewer oxygen molecules per volume of air, which enables athletes to build endurance, hence record better performance.
With 1 week of acclimatation with the altitude, and the 2 weeks after of walking. So we've been rising up the kilometers during all the weeks. And I was thinking that was more difficult to train at the altitude. But after 1 week of acclimatation, if you know you need to reduce your pace, everything is like in France.
World Athletics awarded Iten Town a heritage plaque in 2020 as a recognition for its contribution in the advancement of athletics in the world. The town doesn't have world-class facilities, but the results posted by athletes who have trained there has made it the spiritual home of running.
We have a lot of athletes who has already achieved in this camp, because I have top 20 in the world, and they are training in Iten.
Referred to as the spiritual land of training in athletics, Iten Town has seen massive growth and development in ensuring that athletes achieve their goals. Ronald Agak for Africa News in Iten.
The border between Uganda and Kenya. Following the outbreak of Ebola in the Ugandan town of Mubende, health authorities in the Kenyan frontier town of Busia have heightened surveillance in a bid to prevent the virus from spreading across the border. Everyone passing through is being controlled.
So what's happening at the border is taking of the temperature, after which the clients fill a surveillance form. The surveillance form, basically, they fill in their personal details, their names.
When a person's body temperature exceeds 37.8 degrees Celsius, they're directed to a holding room at the border. If the temperature remains high, they're taken into an Ebola isolation center at the local hospital. George Mwangi is a Kenyan truck driver heading into Uganda. He says he's afraid because he's leaving his family back at home, and if he gets Ebola, they will suffer. He'll not be able to see them because if he goes home, he will lose them. Even the money he'll get will not help them because he'll be in quarantine. They will suffer, he says. Heavy traffic at this border post, with many travelers and truck drivers passing through from neighboring countries, and people are nervous. Lucas Odonga is a resident of Busia. He says many people cross through this border, people from Congo, Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania, and he wants to plead with the government to put strict measures in place. If they don't take serious measures here, he says, they will be greatly affected. If people here catch the disease, they can spread it to other cities and many people will die. Kenya has yet to report a case of Ebola, but residents in this border town are urging the government and the Busia County authorities to ensure that all necessary measures are taken to prevent the disease from spreading.
Mali's interim Prime Minister Abdullah Idrissa Maïga is back home after his speech at the UN's General Assembly. In his speech, Idrissa Maïga praised the military junta's successes against the jihadists, as well as his country's regained sense of sovereignty. I would like to thank His Excellency Colonel Assimi Goïta, President of the Transition, and of course of the Malian people. We are doers, and after having carried out a mission to receive such a welcome, necessarily we did not expect it at all. We did our duty. I think in all honesty that this is too much of an honor for my modest self. In Mali, the interim Prime Minister's speech drew praise for what was described as raw truths, his courage and eloquence. On the streets of Bamako, people celebrated his return to the country. Many voiced their support. Some described him as a hero and a true Malian. Others praised his speech, while others still said he put everyone in their place. Mali is emerging from a 6-month trade and financial embargo imposed by ECOWAS, but relations continue to be strained between an organization pushing for the return of civilians to power and a regime that is promising elections in 2024 after going back on its initial commitments. The sound of traditional Sudanese instrument Wazza fills the air in a theater in Khartoum. The horn-like instrument has been used for generations to usher in the harvest season. It's a man-made instrument in the Blue Nile state by the ethnic Funj group, either the Barta or Al Brun or the Gurmus, and many other communities in the area. It is an outcome of the environment. It's made from the gourd in a long rectangular or cylindrical form, which is planted in a specific way. The instrument comes from Sudan's southern Blue Nile state. Instruments can vary in size, with some as long as 2 meters. The instrument is made from the gourd, which is cultivated at the beginning of the rainy season. As it grows, we pound a stake into the ground and then place a canopy of tree branches and dry grass on top of the gourd to grow and climb. We are now making a new Wazza from the newly gourd because it has to be remade every year, as the instrument wears out due to being subjected to water and humidity. So we must make new ones every year. Wazza players perform in a band of up to 13 members. Some players also use animal horns to tap their Wazza to create rhythms.